Hey, welcome to my messy studio. Some artists are able to keep a tidy studio. They fill it with beige canvases and beautiful empty vases and have everything so neatly laid out that a magazine crew could come in on a random Wednesday and everything would be photo ready. That is not my studio. Every 3 months or so, my studio gets deep cleaned and organized, but even at its peaked organizational state, it is still a reflection of controlled chaos. There are jars, recycling, paint, posters, lots of hanging dried plants, brushes, and vintage furniture to be repaired everywhere. The longer you're in my studio, the more there is to look at and notice, which is how I like it. My dad once said that my studio was filled with inspirations and oddities, and I've loved that description ever since. As part of trying to get my baby bird of a business off the ground, it was recommended to me that I start a monthly blog. I laughed, but they were serious. I didn't think blogs were relevant in 2024. Blogs to me were a 2007 dichotomy of either an angsty college student ranting about society or a 30-something traveling the world after their premature divorce, writing about all the strange birds that they saw. Apparently I was wrong, so here we are. Luckily, I enjoy writing and have lots of topics that I can go on about, and I've been informed that I can use conversational language while writing it, so bonus for me because that's my style. For today, this first ever blog post is going to be an introduction of myself and little bits of rambling and ruminations, so if that sounds fun to you, carry on reading, my friend. My name is Samantha, but most people call me Sam or Sammy. I am 29 and I'm excited to turn 30 in June. I have a baby face, and I will absolutely get pleasure when people inevitably ask my age and I'm able to answer that I am in my 30s. I was a teacher from 2017 to 2021. I taught at rural and high-risk schools, and I also taught elementary school during COVID pandemic. I love teaching, but I found out quickly that I can't handle the stress and politics of education, and this led to a quick and fiery burnout. I went back to school to learn how to do graphic design, which had always been an interest of mine. Pretty sure I've been an artist since birth, but at the very least since I could talk and hold a pencil. I'm a high-functioning neurodivergent person, and I have major depressive disorder, anxiety, and most likely autism, although I haven't wanted to do the official testing for it. I've been in therapy for 10 years now, and I am a huge advocate for everyone I know. I have a handful of chronic illnesses, including endometriosis, PCOS, and inflammatory arthritis. I'm a firm believer that you aren't in charge of the cards that you're dealt in life, but you can control your attitude about it. I'm married to my high school sweetheart. We've been together since 2011, and we have a big, fluffy black dog named Edison. I live in Alberta, Canada, where my husband and I were lucky enough to buy a funky little old house built in the 70s, which has rarely been updated since. It seriously has a decommissioned rock wall fountain cemented into a basement wall. Our home has a huge backyard that I love to garden in, and in the past 3 years, I've really gotten into seed collecting and processing and replanting them in said garden. The turning of a new year seems like an ideal time to start a blog, although from being in schools and working in schools for so much of my life, in my head a new year usually starts in September. It's the middle of winter in Canada in January, and it's always felt like a weird time for anything new. January is frigid and gray and often feels like a time to hibernate and reflect, not a time to start new things. Spring is the time for cleaning and clearing and planting new things and opening windows to let new air in. In January, most things are sleeping or sleepy here. The plants, the animals, and the water all hunker down for the cold months. Regardless, I've always felt that fall and winter are for writing, and spring and summer are for painting and visual arts. I love poetry and short story writing. Being huddled up in cozy clothes, tea, and a muffled snowy world outside is a great writing headspace. So, here we are, near the end of my first blog post written during a negative 50 Celsius, negative 58 Fahrenheit for those in America, cold snap is in what is conventionally our new year. I'd like to finish off this post by chatting about some of my goals for this blog for 2024. I'd like to make it at least a little bit accessible, so I'm going to try and record myself reading through it, each blog post to provide an audio version. Have I figured out how to do that or how to share that yet? No, but I'm confident I'll figure it out over the next year though, and I am hoping to start by posting once a month. I'm currently happy with this casual and conversational tone for these posts, and maybe that'll change, maybe it will not. When I discuss different art movements and topics, I want like a cozy passion to come through this writing, not stuffy or a snobby fine art voice. I want you to feel like you're out for coffee with me and I'm excitedly nerding out about something, not like a university lecture, which I loved, but it's just not the vibe here. I am going for a blog that teeters on the edge of educational and epilogue. This is a short blog entry for my first try, but I'll aim for a little bit longer than this throughout the year. I have some ideas of topics that I'd love to cover that range from fine art and design topics to some general interests in the art and design world, and maybe the occasional wildcard topic. Some of these could include talking about how cool Terraskin paper is, explaining what photo restoration is and why I love it, highlighting other artists that are really cool, or covering some of my favorite art movements like the art and crafts movement with William Morris or the botanical arts craze in the 1700s. If you're choosing to join me, thanks for being here. I hope that you leave feeling both cozy and informed about interesting things in the fine art world and design world. Thanks for reading. Be curious and kind.